This is one of my favorite draft strategies in 2023 across best ball, across redraft, and especially dynasty. Drafting 3 of these wide receivers. Of course, I'd love to have 4, but it's hard to do what I'm suggesting, drafting all 4. But of course, if you find yourself in a very similar alternative plan of what I'm proposing, and you get 4 of these wide receivers and 1 running back or whatever we end up talking about, I'm going to be okay with that, know that. But one of my favorite strategies for 2023 across all formats is to grab 3 of these bad boys right here as your wide receiver 1, 2, and 3. Why? Because it affords you the ability to go get bigger name running backs, all while having wide receivers, I believe, can be as good as really anybody in the game, especially at the cost of entry. Do I think 3 of these 4 will be top 4 wide receivers? No, but one of them could be top 4. The other 2 or 3 could all be top 10. Okay, so I'm joining the draft right here. Got the 1.2.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap.
I'm going to try and deploy this strategy in front of you. Just recording, screen recording, talking as we go. Now, we may have to sidestep into a different plan of attack. Draft starts in 42 seconds. And I'm going to try my best to bring this approach to the table, but I'm very, very, very much an advocate, a teacher, a student of best player available. You all know that. And what does best player available mean? No, it doesn't mean drafting the top ranked guy off the ADP list or the suggested pre-rank list. What it means is that you're drafting who you believe to be the best player available, assuming you're not reaching 5, 10, 20 picks ahead of where you should be drafting the player. Because you can get away with getting him later, it means you're drafting the best guy on the board, regardless of position of need or attack. Tempted to go Jamar Chase and build a Burrow Chase stack in conjunction with at least 2 of these guys, but we want to try and deploy the 3 wide receiver, or at least 2. Ultimately, we may not land 3 of these 4 guys, and you need to see that. And it doesn't mean that it's not a good approach. It doesn't mean that it can't be done. Let's go, because they are very, very arguable. It's not like we're not going best player available. It's a very arguable stance. Let's go CMC, and we're going to try and roll with 3 of these guys, if not 2 of them. And you might see me sidestep into another approach because the flow of draft is important. And I almost feel like it might be more vital for you guys to see me go in a different direction when on the clock, so that you see me react appropriately and not force something, but also keep in mind my strategy. You're seeing my strategy evolve. Jefferson 1, Christian McCaffrey 2. Normally I'd go Chase, but I'm okay doing this. Chase number 3, Kelsey number 4, Eckler number 5, Cooper Kupp 6, Tyreek Hill number 7, Diggs number 8. A lot of wide receivers flying off the board. There's almost no chance we're going to get Garrett Wilson at the 23 pick, which will be proof that, you go with the flow, right? And that we're going to have to try and attack these 3 guys once Garrett Wilson's off the board. JT number 9. JT goes like 9, 10, or 11, or he goes like 14. CeeDee Lamb number 10. I like seeing Lamb chops get the respect he deserves. Same with AJ Brown. AJ Brown 11. Devontae Adams 12. I imagine Bijan at 13 here. Bijan's a steal when he falls like into the top of round 2. Saquon Barkley. This guy can't pass on Bijan. Devonta Smith. Bijan and Lamb. Get Lambed. Get Bijan. Bijan number 15. Great value. Best value so far. Number 16 overall is going to be who? Chris Olave. Wow. Okay. Well, there goes one of our guys. We'll put Olave, X on Olave's name. Josh Allen. See, doing this live is important. I feel like it's more important than me landing it. I want you guys to see me adjust and adapt my strategy. Now, again, the point of doing this is to capitalize on my first and second round picks. They don't have to be, but being quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, and then getting monster wide receivers that are going to overperform. St. Brown, maybe we could get Garrett Wilson. Jalen Hurts, okay. Look at the names left. We got a wide receiver. Garrett Wilson's the second wide receiver ranked. Maybe he falls to us. Can't believe Olave went before Garrett Wilson in this draft, but not that he's not deserving, but it's just we haven't seen that a lot. Kenny Walker, okay. I am hoping Breece Hall maybe falls to this pick if we don't get, Patrick Mahomes. We're 1 pick away from Garrett Wilson. We're going to get sniped right here. How could we not? Jalen Waddle, okay. How about it? Let's go to the board and look at it. We've got Breece Hall on the board. I love Breece Hall as much as Garrett Wilson. In some ways, I love him more. If we went Jamar Chase, I probably would strongly consider going Breece Hall here, but we want to stick with our plan of attack. He's the top-ranked player. It's not like we're reaching or anything. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. We're going to hope that Breece Hall doesn't go with the turn picks right here. The guy took JJ at 1, so it's very likely he could go running back. Ah, God. Okay, so let's go. That's right. We'll make it. We'll be okay. Now we have Garrett Wilson off the board, and he did land on our squad. So we got London and Watson. Too early for these guys. Okay. We're going to probably go, we're going to run out of time here. We're going to go Burrow here. And so my plan of attack is changed a little bit, but it's still kind of the same vein of what we were going to do. I was going to use my first and second round pick on a running back and a quarterback, or a running back and a running back, or a tight end and a Travis Kelce and a running back, and then try and draft Garrett Wilson, Watson, Olave, or Garrett Wilson, London, Olave, or Watson, Olave, London with my third, fourth, and fifth round picks, right? But I ended up detouring, getting Garrett Wilson around 2 instead of doing, 2 players before the Garrett Wilson or the wide receiver pick. But then I circle back to Joe Burrow. So now we got to hope that we get at least 1, maybe we'll get 2 of the final 2 wide receivers in this strategy here, London and Watson. But I think we'll get 1, but I don't know if we'll get 2. But there's always replacements that I love, like Jahmyr Gibbs or Kyle Pitts. So I think even if we walk away with 2 out of the 3, it's a big win. It doesn't mean that it can't be done. It means that it's hard to do. And good things are hard to accomplish sometimes. Sometimes it takes a lot of hard work. It takes multiple drafts to try and get lucky to get exactly the right fall, the right draft slot, the right people you're drafting with that are overvaluing this guy or overvaluing that guy. So it's tough to know, when it's all going to come together. And you probably need more than one draft to pull something like this off. So Breece Hall, Joe Burrow, Derrick Henry, DK Metcalf, Justin Fields, Nick Chubb, number 7 slot, Mark Andrews, okay? DP on the clock here. He's got Josh Allen and Diggs stack going. I like it. Okay, Josh Jacobs at the 32 pick. ETN at 33, good value. Debo 34. Hawkinson 35. Hopkins 36. He's going in the 3rd round. I don't really get it. I know he could be moving, he could be in a good spot, but I don't really get it. Lamar 37, Christian Kirk 38, Ramondre Stevenson 39, number 40. Let's see where our guys are ranking. So at wide receiver, when we sort up our wide receiver, Christian Watson's the 4th ranked. He just went. This guy reaching. Oh my God, Drake London. Okay, Drake London is quite a ways down, meaning that let's go to the running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs is the 4th running back down. Kyle Pitts is the 2nd tight end down. My replacements for these guys would be Kyle Pitts and Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay, so if we don't get it, at least, we got to put an X over Watson. If we don't get London, gold, we really, really hope we get at least, replacement player. What did it go? We went Tony Pollard, Amari Cooper, Christian Watson. Okay. Mike Williams. Okay. We've got 3 more picks before we're up. I think we're going to get London. I do believe it. And then overall, so positionally, London is, coming up. But if you look at it at the overall rank, which is very influential to people when they look at it, like Ridley and Najee Harris and Pittman will probably be one of those guys that gets taken. There you go, Najee. Ridley, Pittman, Kittle, or Herbert, probably one of those guys is going to get taken. People are very influenced by that pre-rank list. So Drake London's a ways down. So is Jahmyr Gibbs. But if we hover over RB only, Gibbs is 2nd, London's lower. So I feel like positionally we have a more likelihood of losing Gibbs. And then tight end Kyle Pitts, we'll get one of them. We'll get one of them here for sure, and then we'll probably get one of them at the next pick. So hopefully we land this. Quarterback Herbert, no. Trevor Lawrence, I like him, but hopefully right here we don't get sniped. So it went Najee, it went DJ Moore, and then we're on deck here. So hopefully this is not Jahmyr Gibbs. I think London will fall. Jerry Jeudy, perfect. Okay, so this guy, we got to look at what he has. The guy in front of us has 1 running back, 2 wide receivers. Jahmyr Gibbs is at risk here. So we're going to go Jahmyr Gibbs, and then we're going to go back to the board and watch. And hopefully he doesn't take London. He has 2 wide receivers already. People are very wide receiver happy. This is a 3 wide receiver mandatory league with a flex and 2 running backs, a tight end, and a quarterback. So it wouldn't be crazy if you went wide receiver here with 1 or both of these picks. But hopefully he doesn't go London Gold, who we have quite a ways down, but he's wide receiver 4. So come on, boy. You're going to time out. Good. Timeout with the auto pick. Good. Calvin Ridley. We didn't want him. I don't hate him, but we didn't want him. Okay, so he's got 3 wide receivers. He can't go London Gold now. If he did, we go Kyle Pitts. Michael Pittman, he went 2 wide receivers. Okay, so looking at this right here, London is our next guy. We probably will not get Kyle Pitts. We got to say goodbye to him. He's the second-ranked tight end. Even though he's ranking very low on the overall, he's tight end number 2. There's no way it goes all the way down and back. So we have to say bye to Kyle Pitts. We're going to stick true to our plan of attack here. We're taking London Gold. And our team right here is Joe Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Drake London. All right, so I'm going to put check marks by the guys. We landed Garrett Wilson and London Gold. We missed on Olave and Watson. Again, it doesn't mean the strategy is bad. It means it's very hard to pull off. But I still feel like we detoured in the right direction. Joe Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, London Gold. Feeling pretty good about that. We've got, so after Drake London, it went Swift, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Chris Godwin, Terry McLaurin, Trevor Lawrence, and when Aaron Jones. What if we get Kyle Pitts? I mean, I'm going to walk straight to the bank if we end up getting him as our 6th round draft selection. Feeling pretty good about this team. Keenan Allen, we're getting closer. I love the squad, and I'm actually glad we didn't land 3 out of the 4 to show you exactly what to do versus forcing things and how to readapt to your plan of attack based on flow of draft and best player available. Again, the team that we have so far, I'll just scroll over. It's column 2, the draft slot 2, Christian McCaffrey, Garrett Wilson, Joe Burrow, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Drake London. And we're hoping Kyle Pitts falls. I highly doubt he does. He's the top tight end available now because Kittle just went. So it's Kyle Pitts. Oh, that would be unbelievable if he fell. Wide receiver, George Pickens is there. Quentin Johnson, Addison are all good. Jameson Williams I like. And then we'll go back. Oh, Zay Flowers. I love Zay Flowers. Running backs available. Obviously, I like Javonte Pierce. I wait on Javonte. We've got Kamara, who we'd only take if Kyle Pitts just went. Zach Charbonnet's there, but he might last a while because Charbonnet's very, very low on the pre-rank. Tight ends, man, that was a bummer. It's got to be the right slotting of your draft slot, the right flow, team construction for everybody in front of you. So from Keenan Allen, it went Herbert, Lockett, Kittle, J.K., Mike Evans, Dalvin Cook, Kyle Pitts, Joe Mixon, Jameson Williams, and then we got 4 picks before we're up. I don't really know who I want to take here, so I have to go back to the queue. Cam Akers is interesting. You guys know I'm a big doubter of Cam, but at a certain value territory, I'm in on guys that people think, oh my God, why would you draft this guy? I'm not saying I'd take Cam here. I'm queuing him. A.J. Dillon I like a lot. Okay, so one guy I'm targeting is Charbonnet. On the running back list, he's a little ways down. On the overall list, he is more than a scroll down, so we don't need to attack him here, but he is a guy definitely on my list. We're on the clock. I've got a pretty good queue. I think I could go off my queue. Right now, our team looks as follows: Joe Burrow, McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Drake London. It's a 3 mandatory wide receiver league. We'll go Pickens here. And so the team is as follows: Joe Burrow, McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, George Pickens. We're back on the clock. It went Quentin Johnston, who I consider Quentin. At this point, we got to ask ourselves, will Charbonnet fall? I think he could. So what do we do here? Do we take Darren Waller? Let's go Darren Waller. So now our team, we're going to take a risk on Charbonnet. Very balanced squad. This is our lineup minus our flex spot. So we have Darren Waller at tight end. We have George Pickens, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, all moon men. We've got McCaffrey and Gibbs. Gibbs is a moon man. Joe Burrow is a Mars man. And Jahmyr Gibbs is a Mars man. Garrett Wilson's a Mars man. We got a really, really good squad here. Very, very well-rounded. Would I prefer to have Kyle Pitts or Watson on this team? Yeah, I would. But I think we adapted pretty well. And if we go back to the big board and we look at it from our pick, Darren Waller, went Dameon Pierce, Isaiah Pacheco, Deontay Johnson. Hopefully we can get all the way back and Zach Charbonnet be there. If he is, then I'm going to be ecstatic and I'm going to love this squad. And it's a very, very good attempt at this strategy right here. And I'm encouraged that it's very, very possible. I think the draft slot's important. I think the closer you get to the 4, 5, 6, the more likely you are to be able to land 3 of these guys. If I had to guess right now, based on a couple attempts at this, me doing it right now, thinking it out, there probably is a place where Christian Watson, London, and Kyle Pitts line up at least very well. And then, you could almost go Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Breece Hall, and then get 2 of these guys if you want to deploy the 2 of the 4 strategies. strategy, and then even get Kyle Pitts potentially, depending on where he falls. Deshaun Watson, Gabe Davis just went before that, Rashad Bateman, and then number 82 on the 82 overalls on the clock. Let me scroll down so you guys can see the whole board as we go. Cortland Sutton, a lot of guys going that I wouldn't draft. Cortland Sutton, Bateman not here, Watson not here, Gabe Davis not here, Hollywood Brown, I'm debatable. Deontay, no. Damian and Pacheco, I would. So a lot of guys going that I wouldn't take here. Kirk Cousins, Kadarius Toney, I kind of like. Cam, I kind of like. Kirk Cousins is okay. I'd rather get Aaron Rodgers later, and we're going to wait on Aaron Rodgers. And we may take him with our second of the next 2 picks, but I think based on the way the QBs are falling, he's all the way down here. But people do reach for him. I see him getting reached for a lot, though. Zay Flowers is still there, but he's at the top, so he's going to be hard pressed to be there. We are a little ways away. After Kirk Cousins went Jacoby Myers, Rashad White, Zach Charbonnet. That's devastating. And then it makes you reflect back. Was Waller worth it? No. Mistake. Take a lap, me. Honestly, mistake.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
However, 7 times out of 10, he would have fallen. And so you got to ask yourself, is it worth ruining his ADP for your other drafts? We might be taking Kamara here, boys. We continue to do it. Everybody makes fun of me because I rip all over them, and then we end up taking them. Dylan, I like. Algier, I like. But Kamara, I in a best ball setting where you don't have to make any decisions. He just goes in if he's the highest scorer, or he doesn't if he's not. So it's a little different. I probably draft him a little later in a redraft non-best ball. But I tend to like Kamara in this 8 to 9 round turn, really round 9 more so. And let's see what this guy does. This guy ahead of us has 1 RB. I could see him maybe going Kamara, but our team. We got 2 RBs, 3 wide receivers. We need a flex, and then we need, obviously a lot of wide receivers. If we look at the wide receivers that are available, none of the guys on the queue. Zay Flowers is gone. I'm not loving any of these guys right here. Quarterbacks, we're waiting on Aaron Rodgers later. I'm going to go ahead and just take Kamara here so I don't run the risk of losing him, even though he might be suspended for half the year or more. The reason that people want to know why am I drafting a guy that I continue to say, is likely going to get suspended for a big amount of time, could be the year. Do I trust the NFL to do the right thing? And by right thing, I mean take action when action needs to be taken. And I don't know that I trust the NFL. So therefore, it feels like there's a high likelihood that he won't be suspended for the entire season. I'm going to time out here, so I'm just gonna take Aaron Rodgers. I got a little sidetracked there. Now, you might be asking yourself, why did I take 2 quarterbacks? Because you have such a huge advantage if you have 2 high-scoring quarterbacks that rotate for you. And again, rotating isn't by your design. It's whoever outscores the other. So if Joe Burrow has a bad week, then Aaron Rodgers scores big, I'm fine. If Aaron Rodgers just happens to outscore Burrow, I'm good. When Burrow's on a bye, Aaron Rodgers is playing for me, obviously, and if one of them gets hurt, the other one needs to pull their weight. So it's a critical position, the backup quarterback in a best ball. And there are a lot of people that make these casual comments like, "Why'd you draft 3 quarterbacks?" You have to draft 3 quarterbacks in a best ball, especially when you're going 20 rounds like this one. If you don't, it's reckless. It's reckless. And not to mention, if you look at not that the projections are necessarily right on Underdog because they're predicting something like who's going to project to score the most. They're using a lot of last year's stats. They're not looking at rookies the same way we look at them. So we oftentimes rank really low. But if you look at some of the patterns, at least, people that draft 3 or more quarterbacks end up getting projected for more points. And it's not because they're trying to account for, they're accounting for your lineup. They're not trying to account for 4 quarterbacks. They're saying that statistically speaking, having those 3, 4 quarterbacks, the rotation is going to give you more points at quarterback than someone that has the best quarterback in the league, but a mediocre second quarterback. So having Burrow, A-Rod, and even let's say Jordan Love, and I'm going to draft a 3rd one, I might be in a better position than somebody that drafted Fields and let's just say Hurts and Fields. They're 2 quarterbacks. I might have Aaron Rodgers being lesser than Fields, but because I have a 3rd quarterback and they don't, I'm going to probably score more points at the position because Jordan Love's going in there if I've got injuries, buys, or if he happens to outscore both of my quarterbacks. I think I'll leave it at this and continue on the video. I don't think I need to go through the remainder of the draft because I'm really just trying to emphasize how to try and build a team that has at least 3 or 2 of these 4 wide receivers that can be your wide receiver 1s. And what do you do if you can't? Who Who are the replacement players? Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyle Pitts, maybe even Pickens. And at the end of the day, I really, really like this team. Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. It's a 1 QB league, but the rotation's fire. McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Alvin Kamara. I only need 2, but 1 could be a flex. Garrett Wilson, Drake London, George Pickens. All 3 have to start because it's a 3 wide receiver mandatory league. Get on over to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit, and the link itself that's in the description, it puts the promo code in there for you. But it really is, it requires, a couple different drafts before you might fall into the perfect way to deploy the strategy you intended to deploy. And you're not going to always have the best draft. You're not going to always see players fall. Sometimes you'll get sniped. Sometimes you won't get sniped. Sometimes you'll say, okay, there's no way Kyle Pitts is going to go all the way down and back. He's the top ranked tight end. And he literally lasts the entire way down and all the way back, and he's sitting there. So you never know when the right player falls at the right moment in conjunction with everything else falling in line. So from a redraft and best ball perspective, they're kind of the same concepts right here in terms of trying to deploy this strategy. I think it's very, very easy to get 2 of these guys on one team. And it's very easy for me to sit back and let my wide receivers not develop yet, quote unquote, if I'm going to allow these guys to be the wide receiver ones on my team, 1s and 2s. So others might say, I need a bigger name. I don't need a bigger name. My point is, give me 2 of these 4 guys as my wide receiver 1 and 2, and I'm fine. And it allows me to stack in a way that I think it makes a lot of sense. In terms of redraft auction, very doable because maybe Garrett Wilson might cost a lot. He could be relatively close to the big dogs, but you could probably get away with buying in an auction all 3 of these guys for, I would imagine, under $90, maybe $85 to $90, maybe 95, maybe 85, depending on your league, out of 200. And that leaves you a whole lot of money to go get RBs, get Bijan, go get Gibbs, get Charbonnet, get an Aaron Rodgers, and maybe even a Kyle Pitts fit into all that budget. It's very, very possible. In Dynasty, I think Garrett Wilson goes even a little bit higher. I think Olave goes in the late 2nd to early 3rd. So really London climbing into maybe the 3rd round and Watson maybe the 3rd round. You might have to use your 2nd and 3rd round to get 2 of these guys in conjunction with a Bijan. So in round 1, you get Bijan. In round 2, you get London. In round 3, you get Watson, or vice versa. But you may not have to go that route because you might see Breece Hall there and you might just end up getting one of them in a dynasty. Wouldn't shock me if you could only get one of these guys in a dynasty. Maybe you end up drafting Bijan in round 1, Olave in round 2, or Garrett Wilson in round 2, or London in round 2, Jahmyr Gibbs at the top of 3, maybe mid 3rd, Kyle Pitts in 4. That would be a fantastic dynasty approach. Let's try this one more time. I didn't think I was going to do another one, but I got to. And we got the 3 pick right here. The draft starts in 4 seconds here. Let's run one more back. I don't know that I'm going to go much past the starting lineup, but let's see what we got. So number 1 overall on the clock. Let's see what he does. It's probably JJ or Jamar Chase or Christian McCaffrey, one of the 3. I'm kind of tempted to try the Jamar Chase Burrow stack out. Oh, there he goes. JJ, okay. And see if I can still try and implement at least 2 or 3 of these wide receivers. What will be interesting is if I go Chase and Burrow and still get 3 of these guys. So, we'll try and take it, play it by ear. Cooper Kupp. Let's go Jamar Chase and not factor that pick into that we're trying this plan of attack. Let's try and get 3 of these wide receivers still while drafting Chase to give you guys a little variety of maybe going 3 wide receivers, 3 mandatory wide receivers in these best ball drafts on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. Get in these. Link in the description. So you start 3 wide receivers mandatory and a flex. So going Jamar Chase and 3 of these guys wouldn't be bad. And if we load up on those rookies, let's say we get Jahmyr Gibbs and Charbonnet, then man, the sky's the limit. Let's go to board view. So it went Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, and then we're waiting on number 7. It's going to be real interesting who's available when we're on the clock. Austin Eckler. I'm going to speed through these picks right here. That way you don't have to hear me strategize the entire way when you kind of already know the skinny of what I'm trying to do and accomplish. So enjoy watching in speedy fashion the remainder of these picks up until my next pick. So in recap, it went JJ, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, Austin Eckler, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, and the owner of the 12-pick CeeDee Lamb is on the clock with the back-to-back 12-13 picks. Let's see who they take, and then we'll speed it along again until we're on the clock, or at least on deck. This person's going to time out here. 4, 3, 2, 1, timeout. They're getting Bijan. Not that he was last in, but just every time I see him get drafted and it's not on my team, I get upset. Barkley, okay, let's speed along. Okay, so Garrett Wilson just went. That takes one of these guys off the board. We'll go ahead and put an X on Garrett Wilson. He is no longer in play. Let's go over to the available players. And as you can see, Kenneth Walker is there. Breece Hall is available. Chris Olave, he's definitely going to be, I think, there for our come-around pick. Quarterback, Burrow's the top quarterback on the board. I don't think, looking at the big board, I don't think I either want to go Breece Hall or Joe Burrow or Kenneth Walker. And I think if we go Burrow, let's just stick to the plan. Let's go Burrow. That leaves us in kind of a bind at the running back position, but not really because this is a 3 wide receiver league. And if we land Jahmyr Gibbs and Charbonnet, and I might reach a little bit more than normal, not to a degree I would yell at all you guys for, but I might need to secure my rookie running back approach in conjunction with this, because not only is this one of my favorite approaches, but I'll do another video that isolates the rookie running back approach, so stockpile rookie running back approach when you're drafting on best ball, drafting Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, Charbonnet, Kendre Miller, Sean Tucker, and getting all those guys as your only running backs and then beefing up everywhere else. That's another strategy we'll talk about. It went Devontae Smith, it went Nick Chubb, it went Chris Olave. That's okay. That's okay. See, you're seeing this happen. You adjust and adapt, but I promise you, you do 10 of these or 8 of these or 5. It might not take that many, but the whole point of this best ball is to kind of like when you fill out an NCAA bracket. You might fill up 4 of them and you're still kind of picking similar things. You're just doing little tweaks to kind of cover your bases if things don't go the way you thought they would go. Okay, quarterback we don't need. So Breece Hall's still here. Kenneth Walker is still here. I love both of them. Jahmyr Gibbs is still here. I'm going to go Breece Hall. I know a lot of people are going to say Kenneth Walker is healthier. Smitty, what are you doing? But I love both of them. We haven't yet drafted one of the guys yet. Christian Watson, Olave's gone. And so Wilson's gone, and we haven't been able to deploy it perfectly yet. This is a good example, though. Again, a better example than landing it, because you see me not stick to my guns or force Olave or force Watson in spots where it's not best player available. So I actually prefer. So maybe we still get London and Watson potentially. I'll be quiet as these picks go through. It went Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, Josh Jacobs, and then you can watch the rest until we're on the clock again. So Christian Watson just went. He's going higher and higher. He went at 40 overall. So we're at risk of losing London at this point, because London is the, he's actually down there a ways, but I still think we're at risk of losing him. Our replacement player in Kyle Pitts feels pretty safe. We might be able to get London and Kyle Pitts at this point, but we have Jahmyr Gibbs as well. So Gibbs, Kyle Pitts, London are all still in play. At this point, it went Christian Watson, Najee, Jerry Jeudy, and we got 3 picks before we're up. And then we got that 4-pick turn, Mike Williams. Okay, we have to make a decision here because we're going to have 4 really good players available. I think that looking at this overall board, London's the most at risk because he's the highest ranked, and then Jahmyr Gibbs. So we might have to try and let Kyle Pitts fall back to us. Probably won't happen because if you look at the overall rank, Kyle Pitts is tight end 3. It's possible, but it's very unlikely. Who is that? Pittman. Okay. So we're on the clock. I want Gibbs, but I think because Gibbs is down at the very, bottom of the scroll here, we're going to go Drake London and finally execute on getting one of our wide receivers that we're trying to do the quad with. So Watson wasn't successful. We got a claim failure here. and then we've got a green check mark next to just Drake London. So not a great example, again, of deploying this, but I want you guys to know how hard it is, so you don't think if you go and unsuccessfully attempt it, or you attempt it and you unsuccessfully do it, that you go, oh, Smitty, that doesn't work. You can't get. The last thing I want to hear is anybody in this live stream or in the comments say you can't do it. I'm telling you, you can. I'm telling you, I have, and I may even try a couple more drafts when we're done here to just show you an example of it. But the whole point is you can do it. You can do it. Not to mention, even if you change directions because of the flow of draft, I'm changing directions. I'm not forcing it. I'm getting a better team. I'm not disappointed at all in the outcome. The outcome's actually fantastic. George Kittle. So we have our choice of Jahmyr Gibbs or Kyle Pitts. And again, looking at the board, Jahmyr Gibbs is right there. He's right there. Kyle Pitts is probably not making it back to us, but and then all these other players are not worth drafting here. And remember, our team is Breece Hall, Burrow, Chase, and Drake London. So I'm going to go ahead and just take Jahmyr Gibbs and get that out of the way. Kind of good we took Jamar Chase at the beginning of all this, because we would have just Drake London at this point, and it wouldn't have. The 3 pick's kind of hard, or the 4 pick. What are we? The 4 pick? We're the 3 pick. The 3 pick's kind of hard. The 4 pick, the 1 pick, the 2 pick's kind of hard to do this. So I kind of got a bad draw, and that's a part of the example of you got to run through more drafts to get the perfect draft slot to be in the perfect draft. Jahmyr Gibbs went, then that was us, and then it went Godwin, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, and I'll be quiet as we run through this and around to our next pick. And I'm going to re-expand this a little bit so that you guys can see it a little bit better, and that way you can kind of see what picks are going. So there we go. Enjoy the remainder of this round. Dalvin Cook. All right, I'll be quiet here. DJ Moore and Terry McLaurin. Okay, here we go. Kyle Pitts is the top-ranked tight end. There's very little chance he will fall to us, but you never, ever know it. Sometimes the craziest things happen. Okay, so we're getting close to getting on the clock, so I'm going to jump into the queue here because we're on deck. I don't want to time out. Mike Evans is pretty decent, actually, this late. We're talking about almost the 7th round. Mike Evans, of course. We don't need a quarterback, but I just want to take a look. Running backs, Pacheco is interesting. Javonte, I'm going to run out of time here. So far we got Joe Burrow, Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamar Chase, Drake London, Quentin Johnston. Very good rookie prospect. We're almost on the clock again. If Zach Charbonnet goes, I'm going to be extremely upset. Javonte, I hate to see him go, but it is what it is. Pacheco's gone. I can't take Javonte off of the news that he could be ready for week 1 until we get more confirmation. I'm excited for the news, but I'm not feeling like it feels like GM talk at this point that he could be ready for week 1 when we've heard he'll be on the PUP potentially. And I think ultimately my logic tells me that he's probably more likely for the PUP than to be ready for week 1, but that's just me. Breece Hall, on the other hand, I believe will be an absolute monster this year. Tyler Algier. Okay, I saw that green name, which is indicates a running back. Look, I love Zay Flowers here. I tell you guys to be careful reaching. I like Jordan Addison here. And honestly, Charbonnet is close enough to this that I'm not going to risk it. He's, when he's within 5-6 running back spots, I just don't want to risk it. 7th round is a little early. Please do not draft him higher than round 7. But look at that running back crew: Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, Zach Charbonnet. I really think it's going to be potentially money making team right here. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Breece Hall, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Drake London, Quentin Johnston. I'm really, really liking this squad so far. And that's just an example. I don't need to go through the whole team. I'm going to try real quickly. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try and do a couple more. I'm going to try and get 3. I'll try and get 4. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do about 4 or 5 more drafts of it if it takes it tonight until I can show you. Okay, here's one I just completed that isn't 3 of the 4, but 2 of the 4. So you can see my wide receivers are Chris Olave, Drake London, Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers. I got a pretty nice, sneaky good wide receiver core without any Jamar Chases, without any other firepower. I'm literally relying on 2 of the 4 big guns. We're talking about the sleeping giant wide receivers, Chris Olave, London, Watson, and Garrett Wilson. So landing Chris Olave, and London to go along with Dalton Schultz and an okay tight end crew. But Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kamara, Tucker, Tank Bigsby, Kendre Miller, and still have Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr. It's an interesting approach, I think. Okay, here we go. Look, I didn't land 3 of these guys, but I got 2 of them. Garrett Wilson being one of them in the second round. I had to pay a high price tag. Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Joe Burrow, Christian Watson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sean Tucker. That was way too early. I timed out on it. I had him queued. So do not take Sean Tucker that high. But even screwing up on that, I got Charbonnet, I got Dalton Schultz, I got Aaron Rodgers. I again timed out because I was doing multiple drafts at a time. And I queued a bunch of guys. And when I got sniped, I had McKinnon too high. I had Tucker too high. So I screwed up on this draft twice, and I still absolutely loved the team. To have Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, and Christian Watson essentially doing this, but upgrading one of them to Jamar Chase was phenomenal. And to get as my starting running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and Charbonnet, a favorite strategy of mine anyway, with Joe Burrow felt like a good move. Let me do a couple more. Okay, this one was crazy. I stuck to best player available. I didn't detour from that, and I went Kelsey, Jalen Hurts, Chris Olave, Christian Watson. So I got 2 of the 4, and then Jahmyr Gibbs I couldn't pass up. George Pickens was a nice replacement for one of these guys. Zach Charbonnet, Darren Waller was still fantastic. A.J. Dillon. I took Aaron Rodgers as my second quarterback. Absolutely loved the beginning of this team. It was very, very good. I did another one with Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson. So I got 2 with Jamar Chase. I got Dalton Schultz. I got Jahmyr Gibbs, Charbonnet, all the rookie running backs aside from Bijan and Joe Burrow. So like any way you spin it, even if you don't land 3 of the 4, I guess the moral of the story is that if you do enough drafts, you'll eventually get it if you get the right draft slot. Unfortunately, you can't pick your draft slot. So, it's harder to do. I did 7, 8 drafts here and I couldn't get 3, but I'm consistently getting 2. And I guess the takeaway here would be that if you're targeting these 4 guys and capable of getting 2 of them, your plan of attack is going to be very, very strong. If you fall back on those being your top 2 wide receivers, 2 of these 4, but if you fall into a new direction because of best player available, you detour and you end up with a team like this where you get 2 of them, but you also still have, Kelsey and I love this squad. Or in the case of the other team where I'm getting Jamar Chase and I'm getting 2 of these guys and I detoured. So it's still a very amazing concept and approach, a strategy, if you will, to loosely take into your draft and then adjust and adapt. And it ends up taking care of you very well and safeguarding your wide receiver positions so that you don't get stuck and left in the lurch, because you are actively targeting these 4 guys to try and be 2 or 3 of your top wide receivers. And then who knows what's in store for you. I hope you enjoyed that. That is just one of my favorite strategies for 2023. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com for all your year-round rankings, bold predictions, trade advice, your text line. I invented the trade calculator. To my knowledge, at least the instant base trade calculator that I could find, there was no one that had it. And your boy Smitty said, I'm getting in this industry in 2003 to develop this because I can't find one. That's why I got into the industry, to be completely honest with you. And I was like you, looking for content, and there wasn't anybody with the year-round content that I wanted. There wasn't anybody with year-round rankings. My rankings are 365. That means in February, March, April, doesn't matter when you pull them up, they're ready for the next season. They're ready to go. They're updated 365. Let's go.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap.